All right, welcome. Day 13. How we feeling? You doing good? All right, good deal. So, real recap of what we're doing. Every day, I'm doing my best to present to you a new idea, an idea to challenge you, to start maybe causing you to think differently, maybe identify areas that might be good for you to work on, right? Because for me, I would just say this, I want to get better. I can't help myself. I want to get better. I look at personal development as kind of like my hobby. Everybody has a hobby. I prefer to be listening to motivational material, hearing ideas, just doing something. I want to get better because I really want my life to really matter. And I think perhaps you do too. I think if you're still watching these videos, you want to do this as well. And I just hope that maybe I can help you. I know for me, there's a lot of people that they've invested their time and energy into formats like this, and it's helped me. So I just want to help you. I want you to get better. All right, I want you to be the best you've ever been. So let's go through it real quick. We've been talking about dreams, personal development, financial independence. We're going to dive into a new topic today. But within those ideas, here's been some of the topics we've talked about. And I just want to give you the sequence because they build into each other. They really do. As you'll see, they start to weave together and really create this rich idea, this rich kind of formula that I've put together for my life anyways, and what I'm trying to apply in my life. So here it is. Number one, when it comes to dreams, you have to understand what's your desire. What is it you really want? In life, you have to define it. You have to really know what it is. What is that thing that you want to do most? It's in you, right? We're not talking about temptations. We're not talking about those things. I'm talking about the desire to achieve, the desire for success, the desire to do exactly what it is God has put you on this planet to do, to use the gifts that you have. It has to be a desire, but you have to create a fire for that desire. It has to be a burning desire because a lot of things will try to get your attention, but it's desire that outweighs everything else. You're going to do that which you desire most. And so once you start talking about those desires, you go to the next topic of goal setting. How do I take this desire and get really clear with what I want and define it and start actually taking steps towards it where I'm actually putting time frames and I'm organizing and I'm planning out. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to see that desire fulfilled. And that's goals, goal setting, writing those goals down, really looking at ways to achieve what it is you want. And then, of course, we've got reasons. This is the why. This is your purpose. You see, you can have a desire. You can go out and set a goal. But most importantly, you need to have enough reasons to keep you grounded when life gets difficult. You have to understand what it is that holds you accountable to your goals. Is it who you're doing the goal for? Is it what you're doing the goal for? Is it a cause? Is it a person? Is it yourself? Whatever it is, identify those reasons. Get to the core and find out why it is you want to achieve what you want to achieve. And then, of course, we talked about disciplines, which we're talking about throughout this entire series. But discipline is in the doing. Discipline is those true actions. It's building habits that actually turn into who we are, right? Because we know the most important thing is not what we get, but who we become. And we will become our disciplines. Our disciplines will direct our path, and what we do will eventually determine what we have. So we focus on setting disciplines that get us to our dreams. Now, in the realm of personal development, it's very simple. We have physical health that we're working on, which is this challenge, right? We're trying to, exercise, hydrate, get rest, put in good nutrition, all of those kinds of things. I would throw in there hygiene, right? See about taking care of yourself. This is your vehicle, right? Make sure you take care of your vehicle. It doesn't have to be, the top of the line, but it does need to be well taken care of, right? Because we want to feel well in order to do well. Then we have emotional health. We want to make sure that we have good attitudes, good perspective, that we're not looking at negative situations or situations negatively, but we're looking at them positively. We want to have great attitudes. We talked about intelligence, intellectual health, right? We want to be we want to be constant learners. We want to build skills that increase value. We want to make sure that we're constantly growing in what our understanding and our knowledge is. So intellectually, we want to increase. Read books, go to seminars, attend courses online, whatever it is, just increase, try to learn something new every day. Could be just a word a day, right? Just learn, being a life learner. And then of course, our spiritual health, we want to truly expand who we are, the identity that we truly are. You see, we will act in a way that is consistent with our identity. If you think about yourself in one way or the other, that is how you will act. We have to identify, or we have to create maybe even a new identity. The Bible would even tell us this, right? Listen to this. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You got to understand, you were once a sinner. Now the Lord has saved you, but you remember what it's like to be a sinner. You've got to be transformed. You've got to change your identity. Your identity is no longer sinner, but saint. And so we are transforming that identity so that way we will act in consistently with that new identity. So expand who you are. Become the next version of you so that way you can achieve what it is you want. And then, of course, the last 4 topics we've talked about is financial independence. We've talked about value, increasing your value, increasing how it is that you impact the marketplace, because the greater value you offer, the greater your income begins. And then, of course, with cash flow, we are literally saying we must act our wage, as Dave Ramsey would say. We must live below our means. We must be sure that we are positively growing our savings so that way we can do the next thing, which is 3, invest, which is merely growing. We're not going to add and get to where we want to go. No. We need to add and multiply, and that constant add multiply is compounding our money into investments that we can live off of, we can give through, right? Which is going back to the whole point of financial independence, and that's lifestyle. What kind of life do you want to live? I'm not saying to be discontent with all the blessings that you have, but I'm simply saying if you have the ability to become more and to do more, if you could be the type of person that was generous beyond measure, just imagine the impact that you could have. No, I'm not telling you to fall in love with money. No. But I am saying perhaps we should get obsessed with what it can do for others, do for our children, do for those that are in need. Yes, I'm talking about living in a place beyond yourself. And I just believe that's a noble thing, right? Leaving an inheritance for our children's children is just something that is so powerful to think about. All right. And now we are here in the new topic, and let me give you the heading, because these will go a little bit faster than the others. And let me just share it with you. I want to talk about having meaningful relationships. It's the Bible said it in the beginning. It's not good that man should be alone, right? Like, we were created for relationships. And we want to make sure that we have meaningful relationships and appropriate relationships. And there's a lot of things, right? You can learn about this, again, going back to the whole learning, increasing your skill. I would tell you that when it comes to relationships, emotional intelligence, emotional health, super important right here, because if you know anything when it comes to dealing with people, right? People, as one man said once, people are the craziest folks I know, right? But we need each other, right? We need that community. And so I'm just going to talk about maybe a couple different layers of relationships, things that maybe we should take time and, again, consider how we are managing those meaningful relationships, what we're doing to take the time to invest in them and to grow them, and again, to have meaningful relationships. Because a relationship is very similar to the tactics in which we discussed with financial independence, and that is, it's the principle of adding value to the relationship, right? Serving one another, right? And being a good steward of that relationship, right? You don't want to be somebody that's always taking. No. You want to give more than you take. You want to be a blessing. But you also want to know that there are people stable in your life that you can go to when you need help. Whatever the need is, whether it is a physical need, a financial need, an emotional need, direction in your life, right? These are pinnacle people in your life that you want to make sure that you have access to them and that you are accessible for them to you, right? It's just having meaningful relationships. Because I don't know about you, I got out of high school a long time ago. I don't have time for drama. I don't have time for all the games. I want relationships that are real and that matter. And the only way you can learn what those relationships are is through trial and error, through experience. So you can't go into a bubble and just read and study this stuff. No. You've got to really apply yourself. And this is coming from an introvert. This is coming from someone that prefers to be alone. Not that I dislike people. It's funny. I'm an introvert that loves people, but the point is I'm not energized by people. That's a common misconception about introvert and extrovert. Extroverted people, when they are at their worst, right, they are drawn towards people. They want to go and hang out and be together, right? And introverted people, if they have a long day, they want to go home. They want to unwind. They want to go for a run. They just want to be by themselves because they are drained in that arena. So this is coming from an introvert. Let me just say, people are so important. People are everything. People are everything, right? As a leader, people are everything. It's your job to love and serve and develop people as a leader. And so we're just going to get into all kinds of areas, but let me just pivot right here in the meaningful relationship area. And let's just start here. Let me start at home. Okay? At home. At our church, we have a saying. It's our culture. It's our priorities, and that is that we are committed to God, family, and the needs of others. So I want to just make a pit stop and just say, we're committed in terms of human relationships, primarily first, our family, those in our home, those that, our spouse, our kids, our parents, if you're single, right? Like we're talking about the family unit. Now I'm giving you some ideas. So if you're not married, or if you're out on your own, I'm just giving you some ideas, right? Because there is what you have now, or that which you're getting ready for in the future, right? I've heard it said before that if you want to find a good spouse, right, you go and become a good spouse, right? You develop yourself so that way you are prepared for when that day happens. Not that you're ever really prepared, right, for those steps in life. But what I am saying is, in the meantime, you have these options of loving and serving other people. But let's just, in the terms of family, if you have family in your life that you love and trust, and they are there for you, number one, you need to thank God for your family. Because in my world, family is everything. I have the greatest honor to having amazing family. On my side, on my wife's side, our extended family. I mean, we are just so blessed, and I thank God daily for my family. And the truth is, I should probably thank God even more often than I do, because it's just one of the greatest things. When you work with different people in ministry that don't have that safety of family, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. So I would just submit to you, if you've not done so in a while, or maybe you've discounted or neglected your family in the terms of having gratitude for them, number one, just thank God for them right now. Thank God for your family. And while you're at it, after you thank God for your family, share your appreciation for your family. Send them a text, make a phone call, make those connections. Let me just say this, meaningful relationships, okay, start because of contact. You cannot go long on this planet, or let me back up and say, you can't have meaningful relationships without meaningful conversations, meaningful contact. And I'm not saying you have to have these long, drawn out conversations every time, but I am simply saying, shoot a text, share a funny TikTok, do whatever it is that it makes sense for you and your family, but make sure you're making those investments, right? If you've got kids, make sure that you're giving them undivided attention. You know, I'm a newer father. I've got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I hope that I'm giving them enough attention here in this time. Granted, daddy's got to work, daddy's got responsibility. I know all of that, but these are my babies, right? My wife. I want to make sure that we've not lost our relationship. So we tried our what we know to do is to make sure we're connected, right? And so I'm just simply saying we have to invest. And one of the ways that you keep your focus on the investing is gratitude, thanking God for these great people in your life, and then thanking them directly, acknowledging what they are to you in your life, acknowledging their gifts, things that you know that they are wanting, right? Being a supporter of their dreams, their goals, right? I'm just merely saying that we want to create meaningful relationships, but it starts with our family unit. It goes back to the principle of being faithful in the little things before you're ruler over many things, right? How can you support hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of people if you're not there for your family? And what good would that be? I'm just merely challenging you with this idea to love your family, appreciate your family. And by the way, maybe your family is not necessarily your relatives, but your family are those that have always been there for you. It's a friend that's like a brother or a sister to you. It's that also those close mentors, right, in your life, the pastor in your life that has guided you through so many difficulties in your life. I'm just simply saying people that are family and or like family, the proximity in which you trust them, love them. I'm just merely asking us as an idea to thank God for them, pray for them, give them recognition, support them, serve them, because that is a meaningful relationship. All right, so we're going to be talking about some more areas of relationships here in the next day.